around 100 feet from where she was found. They had divers and they had even placed a marker in the water. So, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. I think it's time that we have to now decide whose side we are on. Now, SF Investigates, as you know, he is the family PI. Now, he's not someone who was hired by the family. He is someone who simply showed up and said, "Hi, I'm here to help." And has he really helped? That's debatable. Very debatable. But he has, since Adventures with Purpose came into this case and found Kiely, he has continuously attacked this team. In fact, there has been a lot of people attacking this team. Now look, some people were on Twitter and they were saying, look, there's even some other dive teams that have reached out and said Adventures with Purpose were wrong. The way they handled it was wrong. The things that they said was wrong. And look, at the end of the day, Adventures with Purpose provide this service for families for free. And the way that they do that is that they have a YouTube channel. They put videos out that documents the journey and how they do things. And these videos get views, and views make money. Money enables them to buy the stuff that they need to do it. That's the cycle, if you like. That's the cycle of their business. And look, love them or hate them, where would Kiely be now if it wasn't for them? Now, some people have turned around and say that they've sensationalized the story, they've over-dramatized it. You know, the way that they put, was it murder, was it an accident, you know, in their title was incorrect. And my view is, why is it incorrect? Why is it incorrect? Who would anybody be at this stage to be able to say categorically that this is not either an accident or murder? So why should they not put that? If they are offering their services for free, they go around all over the country providing this service to bring closure, to bring answers, and to bring people home who have been lost for many, many years in most cases. Who are we to dictate how they raise their money in order to be able to provide this service? But look, you know and I know people will always have an opinion. And opinions are fine. You know, we welcome opinions over here. I'll do a video and I'll get negative opinions, I'll get positive opinions, and all of them are equally accepted and will go on to hopefully make this a better channel. But there is a line, and I feel that SF Investigates has crossed that line with regards to AWP. Now, he has now categorically stated that AWP have lied. He is saying that they made up the story with regards to Nick and the tow truck situation. With the developments that Jagger has now apparently been cleared, he is using that as a catalyst, as leverage to say, look, you must now start to see that they have lied, they've made this up, this was a story, this was a fabrication. But why is it? Why does Jagger have any bearing on that situation at all? And what we're going to do is we're going to look at who really is at fault here. Now, I would say that law enforcement are definitely at fault, because if this situation with the tow truck driver is completely unconnected, then law enforcement had a duty to tell us that as quickly as possible, so that it stopped the rumour mill and it stopped anybody being affected by the speculation that was going to have. It was going to. If you put that information out there, there's going to be. But why wouldn't Adventures with Purpose put that information out there? Especially with more information that I'm going to speak of in a minute. Because you have to admit that if somebody isn't doing something right, then you have a duty to force them to do something right. You know, we're not here to cover things up. We want answers. Everybody on this platform who is looking at this case, they want answers. You're here for answers. You want the truth. And sometimes you have to do things that would be kind of unpopular to get to the truth. And in my second video today, I'm going to give some information that is likely to be unpopular with a lot of people, but I'm doing it because I want to get to the truth. And I feel that certain pieces of information are being put out there to manipulate that truth. So why would Adventures with Purpose feel that they should put that information out there regarding Nick and the tow truck situation? Now, what I will say is that people have come forward and said, well, hold on, Nick has turned around and said that he's given that footage in to law enforcement. And the people within that have been, you know, they know who that is. And SF Investigators argued that, and he's turned around and said, no, the footage has not been given into law enforcement at all. In fact, all that Nick said was that that footage was the property of the business that he works for. It's up to you to make a decision on how to interpret what he's saying. I'm not here to push anyone's agenda. I'm just here to tell you that I fully 100% support Adventures with Purpose. And this is one of the most, how could I say, this is the biggest reason why I support them. Because I feel that Adventures with Purpose, being boots on the ground, they knew something was off straight away. Now, during their video where they found Kiely's vehicle, you will remember Doug stating within that video that it didn't make sense where her car was found. Just in 14 feet of water, 50 feet offshore, they found Kiely's vehicle with Kiely's remains in her vehicle. Now, they had been told not to search that reservoir, that had been searched and cleared, and there was no reason to do it. Can you remember that? But Doug said, and not being arrogant, he said, but if I haven't cleared it, it's not been cleared. And he was right to do that. But it does raise some questions. Now, Doug did go on as far as try to make excuses for law enforcement. He talked about the colour of the bottom of the reservoir being very similar to the colour of the car. So he was always trying to support and remain respectful to law enforcement. But I can bet your bollocks to a barn dance, favourite phrase, that he knew something was off. They had told him that they had used the equipment that they had, that did include specific equipment, and that they had divers in the water. And in these pictures here, you will see how close they were to where Kiely's vehicle was found. Around 100 feet from where she was found, they had divers, and they had even placed a marker in the water. Now, there is a link in the description that goes a little bit more in depth on this piece of information. Head over to that channel and show them some love from Harsh Island, the island where freedom of speech is accepted. It's like a sales pitch. But look, so how did they miss this vehicle? How did this vehicle get missed? It doesn't make sense, does it? How can you have divers in the water, be setting markers not far from where that car was eventually found, just days before Adventures with Purpose turned up? How does that compute? So then Adventures with Purpose go out, they find Kiely's vehicle, and they find her in the back hatch, which other diving teams have turned round and said, look, that's not unusual. It's not unusual. People can scrabble inside their vehicle when it's sinking and try to get to air, chasing that air pocket, which, yeah, look, I am fully understanding of that. Of course I am. But let's not forget that there were windows open in that car, including the passenger side front window. So that person had not realised that that window was open, even though if that was going nose first, there was likely water coming into it. Why would they go away from that? But look, anyway, I digress. Like I say, it's not unusual. But it is unusual when you pair that with everything else that you know. And that is that law enforcement have told you not to search somewhere. That you then search, and within 35 minutes of being in that water, you find the vehicle. And you find it in the position that it's in 14 feet of water, just 50 feet from the shoreline. And they will have thought, well, how was this missed? How was it missed? And then lo and behold, the backlash that they get for finding Kiely, they are going to be thinking something is not right here. Something isn't right. And we are going to get to the truth. And if that truth means telling everything that we know and putting it out in the public domain so the public knows what we know, I don't see an issue with that. Now, they have been respectful because I can guarantee that they know more than what we do. There will be things that they are unable to say because this is an ongoing investigation. And let's not forget, this is an ongoing investigation. We do not have anything at the moment that says that this is indeed an accident. And I don't know of any accident situation that would take this long to conclude, unless they're looking at the best way to put it to the public that they've concluded that it's an accident, knowing that there is going to be a backlash to that. But you tell me, did law enforcement miss that vehicle? Did they? Was it possible for them to miss it? Bearing in mind the pictures that you've seen show that they were basically on top of that vehicle. They were putting markers in the water not far from where that vehicle was found. They categorically stated that they did not want Adventures with Purpose to look there. They did, and then the backlash that this group of divers got from everybody, from friends, family, SF Investigates, and multiple other people who support the family, support SF Investigates, support the friends. I just don't get it. I truly do not get it. I don't understand why, when you're given so many pieces of evidence that shows that there is either wrongdoing, there is a potential for foul play, and law enforcement and the way they have handled it has been nothing short of negligent. Why is nobody angry about that? Why is nobody pulling them up on that? Why would law enforcement get kids to run these investigations, to get everybody to come to them and give them information, to be putting these boards up saying, if you find any evidence, bring it to me? That's what Sammy was doing. That's what Sammy was allowed to do. That all the video evidence was to be sent to her. Tell me another case where this has happened, where law enforcement would enable the children, the kids, the people who were the last people to see her and would normally be suspects, that they were allowed in charge and running the show. Now, someone said that, look, this law enforcement department, they've got other things to deal with. They've got fires and stuff like that. They're stretched. I don't give a fuck whether they're stretched. It's a young girl that lost her life in mysterious circumstances. And ever since she was found, the people that found her have been attacked for it. Now, that in itself, to me, stinks. We want answers, we want the truth, and something ain't right.